Good afternoon, folks. It's Fred Campos, owner of DFW Website Designers. It is Thursday, April 15th, tax day, April 15th, 2021, and this is episode number 170 of your 3 business tips at 3 o'clock and in around 3 minutes. This week we've been talking about decisions, and today we're going to talk about how do we deal with those very important decisions. And what are those decisions we make that I would classify as important? Dealing with purchases, relationships, and habits. We make a million decisions every day, but some of those decisions are a little bit more important, long-term, require a little bit more thought. And sometimes I think when we make decisions, we kind of throw them all in a bucket and we don't actually segregate them into important and unimportant decisions. But I'm going to ask you today, as we talk about this, business owners, to really drill in on some of those important decisions and ask more questions and spread out the time frame of making those decisions. Some decisions we can make quick, but these 3 we're not going to. So business tip number 1, purchases. Making the proper big purchases is a decision that we live with that may generate regret or may be very, very smart. These would be purchasing things like houses, cars, but in the small business arena, it could be big purchases of things that take money out of the budget that, require a little bit of planning. And you'll notice it's our society's point of view that when we do these types of high dollar purchases, especially like in our personal, they tend to be high pressure. I always think about buying a new car. The salesman there is going to try to grind you to make this decision on the spot. But big purchases like houses, cars, where our office should be, signing contracts for a lease or whatnot, those need to be done very slowly. Business tip number 2, important decisions, relationships. Who you date, who you go out with, this is what we preach to our kids. That does not need to be done in haste. That needs to be thought through. Business relationships, who we do business alliances, who we align ourselves with. This would go into hiring the right people. When dealing with people and relationships, sit back a minute, ask a few more questions, really think through on that decision. Business tip number 3, and the last one of the day, habits. The habits and daily routines of your lives, things that you choose to do, have lasting impact. Whether we pick up smoking, whether we join a gym, whether we eat this type of foods or not this type of foods, whether we exercise, whether we read a book, whether we sit our butts in front of television, habits are decisions that we need to spend more time with. And specifically what's interesting about habits is we make those decisions without actually making those decisions. So we really need to backpedal, hit the pause button, and think those through. Purchases, relationships, and habits are the 3 areas you have the most regrets. So they should be the areas you spend the most time deciding on. This is what I'm learning. Anything I'm learning, I always want to share with you so that you can be awesome. Now go back to sleep.